Good morning, everybody. Check this in with startuptrading.com. It is the 27th of March, 9:13 in the morning. This is your technical trade plan. Now, interesting enough, the extension that started it all yesterday, we traded again. It's one of those extensions that traded so long ago that you take it off your map. But actually, I was watching Perry's morning trade plan, and I could just see it when he was going over the market that is what ended up holding. But if you guys remember, the extension that started it all here in the Nasdaq was from the 10 o'clock low going back to February 21st. That's really when this sell-off began. And at the time, we were using this anchor. It traded there again on the 23rd, and then it was used again here at its 38% resistance on the 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then I'm not sure if we traded it again after that. We may have. But either way, yesterday's high was that extension again. And the downside target, we'll see. I mean, I definitely think there's a chance it completes. That would be 18,478. That'd be quite a move from here. So the downside target off of yesterday's resistance is all the way at a new low, 18,478. And there's, longs, until longs break and hold really above the full 61.8 short. Shorts are technically valid. Like, until we break above basically 21,200 on the daily chart, shorts still have the potential of working. So keep that in mind. Anyway, yesterday, wow, I mean, the trade plan worked right to it. I didn't trade it the best. I had that short off the open, but we ended up cracking. Yesterday's trade plan I talked about, if we break the extension, we could trade all the way back down to the halfway back at discount. And that's exactly what we did. Sometimes you say things and I guess you just don't think they're going to happen, but that's exactly what we did. We had a short off the open, absolute clobber in the first hour. This candle here is 180 points and nothing but sellers for the remainder of the day. And as we go into the open, same thing. Nothing really but sellers here. And I'm going to show you the bearish below technical setup we're going to be watching here today. I'm going to get rid of the extended session for a moment and just focus on yesterday. So off the open, there was an overnight short halfway back that it went over, but also right as we went to the open, previous day's high to low traded as a 50% retracement short, and then we just dumped. And then I believe there was, of course, more headline tariff news that accelerated things. Then you had what was the open low at 9:30 low, drawn to the 10:20 low trade, and that ended up going down to and through targets. We then began new extensions from the 10:20 low to after lunch, the 2 o'clock low, and then we just came shy of the profit target and then rotated up into that 38% retracement. And then in the overnight session, as soon as we had opened, we went down and we completed this target. And we've basically been sitting inside of a consolidation between what is the lower mid, which is the overnight high to the tick, and this extension. So what I'm interested in really is once we do open, drawing that same anchor new low and just using that as the frame for the market here today. So using what is the 10:20 a.m. low, once we open, we're at 20,000. We're 20 points above the target being completed during the regular trading hours. So once we complete that during the regular trading hours, I'm going to just readjust this low to low, and that's going to be ideally the short setup I'd look for next, and that would be quite a bit of ways away from us. Now the other scenario is we just start going straight through, maybe even down into the negative 61, and then we start seeing the 2 o'clock low to low have its participation. If that is the case and then we end up breaking it, there could be a counter trend trade. But right now, as we go into today, the two short anchors, bearish on the price action bias, but there's two short anchors, and it's the 9:30 low and the 10:20 low. And we're just going to have to follow those down unless they break. Those are going to be, those are going to be the primary trend at this point in time. So moving on to the S&P 500, I want to go back. I'm going to go to the 30-day hourly chart to see if we held that same extension that I had mentioned from late February in the Nasdaq. See if the ES held it too. The ES's variation was the low of February 20th. If you guys remember, it traded here, we had the same anchor new low again, and that same anchor new low, ta-da, it traded. Now the Nasdaq was more technical in the sense that, like, as soon as it touched, we kind of rolled over, but that often happens. One market will touch and the other market kind of needs to play catch up before they both roll over. Now, as we go into, yesterday we were talking about that extension, and once that extension breaks, we were coming into that next traditional. Well, that's exactly what happened. Now, really below us, the full halfway back long, is probably where we're going. So in the ES, I'm drawing from the low of the 13th of March to the high of this week, and that gives us a 56.73. Now, if we don't hold, this next measured move, which I don't think we're going to, just based on the momentum here, that is probably where we will eventually find our base. That is where we will probably eventually find our base. So with that being said, what we're going to do is analyze. We can still be aware of this traditional here, but we would need to break. If we break the extension we're currently in, you just come back and re-engage this. But at this point in time, we are basing on this halfway back long, but the extensions are in control, and the extension is drawn similar to the Nasdaq from the 1020 low to low. We saw this trade in the middle of lunch, and then that same anchor new low traded into the close. The overnight low is basically that profit target, and then you can see we actually rotated back up to where the 50 would, find some resting orders and making our way back down. So once again, I'm going to ignore the overnight session. Just once we do complete this profit target during the regular trading hours, which is 16 points below we're currently trading, then I'm going to begin looking for a same anchor new low, unless we have a really big change in momentum. Like at the end of the day, this is one of the patterns that you can look for on a low, where we have a single print down and then a single print up. So you see fair value gap, single print down, single print up. After you get that single print up, that traditional typically holds. So that's something you can look for a change in the state of the market. But if not, it continue for the expectations are for us to continue in this short trend, and really everything below the 1020 anchor should be anticipated that we're eventually going to move lower. This ES target here off this extension, and maybe we even traded the full halfway back short. I'm not actually sure. See, I think you could make the argument that we did. Yeah. It's a 58.37. The full halfway back short in the ES is a 58.37.75, and the highs are 58.37 quarter. So that's just another thing to consider, that we rolled over from the downside target. Damn, I have not seen a short complete this big since COVID. We'll see what ends up happening, but that downside target would be below 5,400. I have not seen a short this big, and we're only a couple days out of it complete since COVID. So you really have to, trying to go back. I mean, even in this sell-off here in 2022, there wasn't as this first halfway back short wasn't even as clean. This is a pretty, if this ends up completing targets, this is one of the cleanest daily shorts I've ever seen, ever. But a lot can change between now and then, but that is absolutely a reaction. In the following day we have a break of the long trend, and so far we have a continuation. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up my morning trade plan. I'll have to jump off at like 11, then I'll be back. Or actually 12 Eastern. I have a call I got to do. Going over, I know a couple of you guys use wealth charts. I actually had a conversation with the CEO of wealth charts the other day, Rob Hoffman, who I've known for a really, really long time, and he convinced me to do a demo on it. So I got doing a demo on wealth charts later. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's always hard to switch platforms, but we'll see. I'm at least gonna let him pitch me. But anyways, so I'll be jumping off at 12, and otherwise I'll talk to you guys.